Good morning, back up on WOL1450AM worldwide, WLDCnews.com. Yango.
Well, good morning again. This is Brother Yango with Returning Citizen. First hour, kicking the Bobo. This morning, we're going to kick the Bobo with Total Sunshine. Let me just say before I bring her up, I first met her, she was giving those smiling faces, you know, and I was, man, you know, sister passing those smiling faces in the ghetto, but everybody that she passed a smiling face out to put a smile on their face. And I want to, you know, use that as my introduction to Total Sunshine, to the WL listening audience, and to the Mo Better Man show. Good morning, Total Sunshine.
Good morning.
How you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just great.
Fantastic. Welcome to the Mo Better Man show. This segment hosted by yours truly, Brother Yango. I saw you bow, but normally I don't like to read folks' bio. I like people to introduce themselves. I think that's more personal in terms of communicating with the WL listening audience. So with that, I'd just like to ask you, who is Total Sunshine, and how did you come up with the name Total Sunshine?
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks so much for having me on, Brother Yango. I tell you, this is a great opportunity for me to spread the sunshine to your listeners. Oh. Well, Total Sunshine, I tell you, in a nutshell, I'm a paramedic to society. It started back in 95 when I started on my career as a paramedic in the city. And I started to really see some of the changes that people were going through and how unhappy they were in their lives. Now, Total Sunshine, the television show, actually emerged, very long story short. I was hosting a gentleman by the name of Henry Manning. I was hosting his show, and I thought it was kind of constraining because I had to read the script and so forth. And I said, okay, well, how do I go about trying to be on television, as I did love to do, and basically bring people some happiness? And so I came up with the idea of Total Sunshine. I essentially asked Mr. Manning for the information to the DC TV television station and asked how I could produce my own show. He gave me the information and introduced me to the people over at DC TV, and I, after a few months of wrangling and trying to get things figured out, I had a show called Total Sunshine. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that 11 years later it was a nonprofit in the city, because we basically started out trying to entertain the people, just to smile, but the need for more and more charity came about. And then I met a gentleman by the name of MLK Farrakhan, who's the founder of Ceasefire, Don't Smoke the Brothers and Sisters. I actually met him through the show Total Sunshine. He saw the show, and he saw that I was trying to make people smile and encourage positivity. And he got in touch with me, and we actually ended up doing an interview. And I'll tell you, it was really amazing. He gave me a lot of insight into a lot of the things that were going on and just different things that needed to be addressed, and certainly how to address them. And I'll tell you, when I when I met him, that I had no idea that I was going to receive a book called How to Form a Nonprofit Corporation. Mm-hmm. And I ended up wrestling with that book until I had a nonprofit corporation. And this was way back in 2003. Mm-hmm. So we started my Total Sunshine Incorporated on Martin Luther King's birthday in 2003. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been doing charitable deeds ever since.
You primarily work with, you work with the total community, but your commitment is to young people in this city. Why have you focused in on just young people in terms of attempting to develop them into better human beings?
Well, I tell you, a lot of my efforts with Total Sunshine has focused on young people. Although we do have basically premises to affect the public in general positive, I really became distressed working on the ambulance in D.C. and basically treating young people in their times of distress where, the 911 call would come out and they wouldn't be having an asthma attack. Someone would have gotten shot or stabbed, or they would have gotten dumped, or it would just be some situation that they really had no business being in, or it'll be a situation where it's 3:30 in the morning and, somebody's shot or somebody's in a really bad situation and they're looking at me and they're like, hey, pretty lady, please don't let me die. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. come on now. The decisions that you made really led to you being here at this point. If you weren't out here, number one, then perhaps you wouldn't be in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, oh gosh, I tell you, it really tore me up so many times. You know, I would come home and I'd be crying in the bed, and I was like, well, you know, there has to be something that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I said, well, I need to basically try to focus on how I can help use Total Sunshine to help these young people in order to get them before they become a medical patient. So I said I need to become a social paramedic, a medic to society, because it's really needed. And with the work that we do with young people now in the schools, with our anti-violence and life coping skills seminars, we focus on, of course, anti-violence, life coping skills, but also HIV and awareness, because a lot of young people are, you know, the rate is alarming in D.C. when you talk about the numbers with infectious diseases and so forth. And anti-bullying, you know, there's just a whole host of different topics that are relevant to young people today that we discuss in our seminars. And even since 2003, we have had consistently positive feedback from the students, the staff at the schools, school administrators. We always have an open invitation to come back. And one of the unfortunate things is that we haven't had actually the consistency that I would like to have with working with some of the young people. And we've never started to ask for help, but at this point we are really reaching out to ask for help so that we can consistently affect these young people, because the reports have been so great. People have been inviting us back, and I've even gotten words from teachers and principals that, hey, you know, these students are really, you know, the behaviors have been changed. You know, sometimes it's pretty slight, but other times it's really, you know, there's a marked difference. Kids that weren't doing their homework started turning in the homework. The attendance has gotten better. And the feedback forms, they tell the story. You know, we always have a, hey, it was great. I loved it when she I love the song part. Or, you know, the young people, they really appreciate when someone takes the initiative to come on out. So
excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off, but you also deal with multimedia with young folks too?
Yes.
Why is that important that young people be exposed to the positive side of the media in comparison to a lot of times they are exposed to the negative part? When I talk about the negative part of the media, I'm talking about, you know, the rap and the videos that come on radio. But you give them another perspective in terms of the media. Why is that important to young people in our city, and in particularly in our young people in general?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's just a shame that too many times the things that are negative are the things that are featured and showcased in media. And one of my main goals with Total Sunshine is to be sure that young people have a role model. There's a lot of people on television. There's a lot of people that are paid a lot of attention to. But I think it's imperative for the young people of today to have a role model to be able to look up to, someone who is responsible, who's not, you know, out here doing the wrong things, and someone that they're getting all these reports and, okay, well, they were out there doing the wrong thing. They were out there saying the wrong thing. They were out there looking the wrong way. It's really important because too many of these young people in America, really, they don't have anyone at home that they can look up to, or they don't see anyone in their immediate environment that they actually that they place into a role model place in their lives. And so Total Sunshine, you know, with the broadcast that we do, with the television show, you know, I make sure that, of course, we keep the fun in it, because that's what the premise of the show was from the beginning. However, we make sure that we just give them positive messages, and we showcase positive things. You know, our reward ceremony that we gave over this summer, it actually was our third annual reward ceremony. We showcased, and we're actually still running specials on BCTV and on Fairfax. We showcased basically DC valedictorians citywide. We gave them laptop computers for college. 98% of them had need for these laptops. And not only that, you know, we actually did interviews with some of the people and their parents. And so showcasing other young people that are doing well and adults that are role models for these young people, I think it's just so important to basically to have that on television, because there's a lot of different, so many different things coming out in media, and just, you know, so many different things that young people can get caught up into. And to have Total Sunshine there, the beacon of light, that, parents don't have to worry about if their children are watching Total Sunshine. It was really a trip. This reminds me, earlier this year when I was at the mayor's, they had a thing for the DC swim team, right before the Black History Week for the United Black Fund. And there was a reception in the hall. And I met a lady there who said that the other night she was at home. She and her daughter were watching my show together. Mm-hmm. And that type of report, I tell you, generally, you can't find someone who's, a middle-aged parent and a teen watching something together. Mm-hmm. And nobody's like, what is this you're watching? And change the channel, and I don't want to see this. Mm-hmm. It really warmed my heart because it let me know that Total Sunshine, even, at our 11th year, still very watchable, very, friendly toward families, but also fun. They enjoy it.
You talked earlier about life skills and HIV education. Mm-hmm. What is the significance of teaching young people life skills in what you do and educating them about the HIV epidemic and how it's important for young people to have safe sex if they're going to have it. And I just said it because, Sunshine, you're in the city, you're in the community, you're a community activist, and I'm almost certain everywhere you look, you see a young lady with a baby, or you see a young lady that's pregnant. That means that a lot of them, that's the indication that a lot of them are not using, not having safe sex, and I'm talking about young women, 17 years old, look like they got a baby, might be 5 or 6 years old. What is the significance of teaching life skills and teaching and providing this valuable information about HIV?
All right. Life skills and HIV/AIDS awareness is so important to Total Sunshine because it helps us to basically accomplish the mission of Total Sunshine of promoting smiles. Now, promoting smiles is it's a really broad mission, and so to sort of funnel our efforts into actually impacting young people towards goals. With the life coping skills portions of our anti-violence seminars, actually basically gives the young people information about making positive choices.
Can you hold that 1 second? Sure. Another thought just popped. Now I'll do that in time. Thought pop up. I'll interrupt you just to ask you a question so you can expound on some things that you may have said. How receptive are young people to the anti-violent campaign and the life skills sessions that you have?
Well, I tell you, sometimes it does take a while for me to get them settled down. I'll tell you one particular time when I was over at a Spingarn High for the Black History Month program. I was the keynote speaker, and it did take them a while to get the young people settled down enough to even receive a message. So sometimes they're not that receptive, but once I get started talking about some of my experiences on the ambulance, as soon as I started calling really a patient that was shot, generally the shock value of some of the things that I say grabs their attention. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, even from some of the smaller seminars that we do in classroom settings, it's really easier to kind of control that environment because I can just kind of raise my voice and say, hey, you shot. Mm-hmm. Started off with that, and then that kind of grabs their attention. And then by the time the seminar is done and we've given lots of information about making great choices and about making positive choices when it comes to their healthy lifestyle, mm-hmm. By the time it's up, you can hear almost a pin drop in the classroom because mm-hmm. at that point they're hanging on my every word. Mm-hmm. They're pretty receptive. Once they get it, once they really get it, because I know that there are a lot of organizations out here and there are a lot of different people telling them a lot of different things, and I'm sure that the general consensus is, okay, well, yeah, sure, the adult population wants us to do different things. But when I come to them with my real life experiences, and they can honestly see that I care. Mm-hmm. They've been very receptive. Receptive.
How about the HIV education? A lot of times when you talk to young people, regarding like sex and having safe sex, It seems like it might be fun and games initially, because you get a lot of laughter. How receptive are they to your HIV education component?
Well, they're surprisingly very receptive to that as well. Now, because I come from a medical background and I relate to them basically information from a healthcare standpoint, I tell them about what happens to the body of someone who is infected with HIV/AIDS. That's the treatment, just the progression of the disease process in the body. And, it's not a pretty thing. Now they're having a whole lot more success with having people to live longer, with the disease. However, it's not something that anybody wants to catch. When I start talking about the things that happen inside the body and the patients that I have had who have been infected and the number of young people that, that come across my ambulance stretcher, and, it's just astounding. And a lot of times, they have been very receptive. They really listen up. And I generally do start off with some type of trauma story from the ambulance, and that grabs their attention so that by the time we get to the HIV and AIDS awareness portion, then they're already listening. Their ears are wide open. And so I love it. I structured it that way because I found that this is the best to get their attention. You start talking about something that they think is relevant, and for people in inner cities, we know good and well that violence and living with violence is relevant issue for them. A lot of times when I go in, I will ask them, who has someone in your family who has been a victim of violence or been shot, or if you have a cousin or you know someone. And yet every hand in the classroom always goes up. If it wasn't them or their family or their cousin or, someone from their neighborhood, every hand in the classroom generally goes up. And so these are things that are relevant to them and they affect them. And so when I start talking about individual situations and young people and how they have reacted with the, oh man, I can't believe this happened to me. This really grabs their attention. And so once you have their attention, you can basically educate them on whatever you need to. And that's what we do at our seminar.
Okay. I want to, just move to another subject, and then we'll get back and kind of wrap it up of what you're talking about. But you have been a part of the Dr. Martin Luther King Peace Walk Committee, and now this year we're talking about Dr. Martin Luther King's Parade Committee. And before we get to talking about that, I want to read this email I got from Brother Q Silvers, who is one of the major organizers of the Dr. Martin Luther King Peace Walk and the parade. He sent me an email. He said, I can't remember if I told you, but I moved out from Beggars Alley, located at 2 Poverty Lane, the corner of Down and Out Circle. My new address as of today is Living Well on 231 Abundant Terrace, located at the corner of Blessing Drive and Prosperity Peak. It is in the God-Can neighborhood. My guess is Jesus Christ. No longer will I allow myself to travel on Beggars Peter to Pay Paul route, located at the dead-end intersection called I Don't Have, which connects with Barriers Junction. I no longer hang out at Failure Place near Excuse Avenue, next to Procrastination Point. I moved to an upscale community called Higher Heights with unlimited potential and opportunity for me to succeed. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Life is good because God is good. Kitty, change your address. There are many vacancies. Great is thy faithfulness, O Lord. I am well blessed despite the temporary circumstances, so are you. Don't tell God how big your storms are. Tell your storms how big your God is.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what he said that to me. So let me read that to the WL listening audience. But anyway, we're getting ready for Dr. Martin Luther King's Parade Committee. Folks every day, signing on, and it's going to be a big event. And we just want to talk to the WL listening audience about the importance of their participation. How big is an activity, Sunshine, on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday? Because we're moving from the Peace Walk to the committee. How big is any kind of activity on the day that the nation is celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday?
Oh, this is huge. This is so
On January the 16th, in Southeast, on Dr. Martin Luther King's Avenue, there will be a parade. Who are some of the folks, if you can, recall some of the bands and folks who possibly may be participating in the parade?
Oh, well, I tell you, there's a host of us. I believe at the last committee meeting, we heard that we have between 10 and 12 bands in the local area. I know the Blue High Band is going to be there. They're always so good about coming out to local events. It's going to be a great day for the community. I know the Total Sunshine team is going to be also out there. We're going to actually have 2 banners this year, and we're going to definitely be out there supporting Martin Luther King and his dream in the parade. Let's see, I can't remember offhand all the other bands, but I know they said that we had confirmed at least 10 to 12, and I know we have a great lineup. I know that there's going to be a reviewing stand, and I know that there's going to be programs in some of the local churches as well, in order to ensure that the young people who come are connected to the message, so that they don't just come and march down the street and that's it. Because everyone is so excited about Martin Luther King at this time, and we want to keep that going, and we want to make sure that that disconnect that has been forming over the last several years with young people and Martin Luther King's dream is that basically that gap is closed off. So we want to make sure that we affect all the young people that are there and make sure that they get to the different programs and things that are going to be going on after the parade. And finally, that Total Sunshine, we're going to be filming. We're going to cover that event. We're going to, of course, be interviewed for anyone who is there that's willing to talk about their love for Martin Luther King and his legacy and his dream. And we're going to, of course, going to televise this as well. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. I'm so excited. I always get so excited about Martin Luther King because he is really one of my heroes.
That's the next question I wanted to ask. How important is Dr. Martin Luther King to the nation today when we look at Occupy DC, around the country, protests of the inequity of wealth between poor folks and rich folks, and talk about 1% of the country, own 99% of the wealth. How important is a Dr. King's legacy and his work to the day?
Oh, extremely important. I'll tell you, because Martin Luther King was just one man who continuously and steadfastly, despite so much opposition, stood up for what he believed in and stood up for the right thing, when it would have been much easier to just set up and go back somewhere in the dark and be sad, and people would have probably left him alone. So for him to have been someone who stood up loudly, said, I have a dream, and to have been that bold about it and that determined about it, I think it's really important, because today with so many issues facing America and young people, we need people that are going to be willing to take Martin Luther King's legacy and take it a step further, to go ahead and say, hey, I'll stand up and do the right thing well. I'll stand for the right causes. I'll make sure that I make the right choices. I have a dream as well. I can succeed. I can be successful. I can be educated, no matter what my skin color is. Because Martin Luther King's dream, it didn't just say for black people to come along. It said for everyone, for it to be all-inclusive. And so because America is such a mixing bowl now of people and cultures, I think that it's a perfect time for us to celebrate Martin Luther King and his legacy, because, hey, his dream talked about us all. And I tell you, I wish he was here at this point to see all the great changes that we have, to see Obama in office and to see, so many of the positive things that have happened for African Americans in America, but also see that, the possibilities of more of his dream coming true are being realized.
On the 16th, if folks want more information or may want to get involved with the Dr. Martin Luther King Parade Committee, do you have a telephone number they can call?
Absolutely. It's a toll-free number. It's 877-576-5421. This is the Martin Luther King Holiday Parade DC number. The website is actually MLK Holiday Parade DC.org. That's MLK Holiday Parade DC.org. They can also view the flyer, of course, on the Total Sunshine website. That's TotalSunshine.org. And, of course, we're looking for Total Sunshine team members and volunteers to help us out with our endeavors as well. So please, people feel free. You can call the Total Sunshine line as well at 202-575-0462. We're definitely looking forward to having a tremendous part in the parade and making sure that we provide our proper contribution to helping people know that Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream," and we are going to be behind that dream, and we are totally focused on making sure that young people get reconnected to dreams.
Also, if folks want to just drop by Anacostia Library tomorrow at 1 o'clock, they can look around. I think we'd probably be in the same room, or they can go to the desk and ask folks where the Dr. Martin Luther King Parade Committee is meeting at. Because we need a whole lot of volunteers, these folks, man, to just get involved with different committees, and be a part of this great event celebrating the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, Sister, we're getting ready to it now. I want to just thank you for getting up early. I call it drive time. Some folks say, man, 4 o'clock in the morning. Come on. This is drive time. Folks are getting up. Folks are getting up, getting ready to go to work. And I just want to thank you, and I'm honored to be able to interview you as part of the Mo Better Man show, Kicking the Bobo. Because I think that your organization is a great organization, making a difference in our community. More folks need to get involved in our community. More folks need to look at an organization like Total Sunshine in terms of the difference that organization is making, so that you can make a difference in our community also. So if folks want to contact Total Sunshine, what is the telephone number again?
Again, it's the Sunshine Hotline, and it's 202-575-0462. The website, again, is TotalSunshine.org. If people want some Total Sunshine, they can feel free to log on. If they're having a bad day, we'll turn that frown right around. Total Sunshine is here to, of course, bring people to a brighter day. And we're doing what we need to do. We are really working it out. We're supporting young people in education. And we're looking to take this thing to a nationwide stage, because young people in America really need the role model they've been waiting for so long. There's a lot of people on television, but I tell you, Total Sunshine, we are the paramedics to society, and we are on duty all the time. I will be at the Martin Luther King Parade Committee meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m., even though I'm going to be working tonight. So this paramedics to society is definitely on duty at all hours.
All hours, 24/7 on call.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to thank you for calling in and she's spreading a little sunshine everywhere. They got one of the most gorgeous smiles in the universe. And again, I want to thank you for getting up, hanging out with us for about an hour. And, God bless you, and hope you have a fantastic day. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Excellent. And, there's one other thing. Is it possible for me to remind people to like us on Facebook?
Sure you can.
Yes. The Luther King Facebook page is up and running for our holiday parade. And we need people to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. All of the links are basically on our website, and it's MLK Holiday Parade DC.org. So if they go to the website, they can find us.
And the telephone number again?
It's 1-877-576-421. Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream." Total Sunshine's going to be on the scene.
Like that. You should have been a rapper. Thank you, sister. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.
Excellent. Thank you.
My pleasure. You just heard Sister Total Show Sunshine, part of Kicking the Bobo.